Hello.
That hurt my throat. And welcome
to the Minimum Wage Podcast.
where
the name is above our pay grade. Today, we are in a doggone hurricane.
Mercy.
We're literally in the middle of a hurricane right now. So if we end up disappearing mid-pod, just know we're probably not all right. Oh my God, the door just literally busted
the door
open.
Just busted open.
What in the world, dude? The hurricane heard and it busted the door open. So if you hear the door slamming open, or you hear windows shattering, or you hear trees falling down, that we're in a freaking hurricane right now.
Yep.
So if the audio quality is a little windy, don't mind us. We're sorry. There's nothing we can do at this point in time.
Indeed.
However, without further ado, today, long awaited, much deliberated, the Apple Podcast.
The Apple Podcast.
We thought every podcast was the Apple Podcast, so we said, you know what? We're going to split that apart.
But is this the Apple Podcast?
This is not the Apple Podcast.
But it could be.
Well, it's the Apple Podcast.
Is it the first? Because we've had some other podcasts where we talk mostly Apple the whole time.
Okay, yeah, but that's not. We never named it the Apple Podcast.
If you probably went back 12 episodes and found out how much time we spent talking about Apple, it's probably at least 25% of the time.
But 25 is nothing. We're talking about 75. We're talking about at least more than 50. So the majority of it is Apple.
I think there was at least one where we talked
There's probably yeah. I think podcasts 002.
I wouldn't put it past us.
No, I would not put it past us, bro. I would not put a whole lot past us, to be honest with you. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it.
It's everyone's favorite time of year. It's about that time of year where that beautiful face of Tim Cook rolls up on that stage and says, "Good morning."
Good morning. It's time for a keynote.
Exactly. And then people spend the next hour and a half watching their iPhones as they hear Tim Cook talk about this year's, newest iPhone.
Yeah.
And all the new other products. This year, I actually watched the event during calculus with one of my friends in calculus.
Wow.
But
How did you manage that?
Lord knows.
Lord knows. Were you paying attention whatsoever?
I was. I got a 95 on the test, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. So, I don't even know what to tell you at that point.
So,
Hey, keep on doing what you're doing. If it ain't broke, keep on watching Tim Cook.
Bro, it's actually watching Tim Cook that helped me pay more attention.
Yeah, no, that's what it was, dude. You would have gotten an 85 or lower if you had not watched the Apple keynote.
I would not have known any of that calculus had I have not been paying half of my attention to, look at that new Apple Watch.
Integrals, derivatives, that just would have been beyond your knowledge if you had not watched the Apple keynote.
Lord, don't even forget to mention logarithms.
Doggone it, all logarithms.
No logarithms and limits, baby.
God forbid I mention logarithms and limits. Oh my goodness.
This wind is moving
slow. Bro, have y'all done limits involving infinity yet?
Yeah.
Okay, that stuff is weird. L'Hopital's rule.
All right, now you're speaking some different language.
It is literally French. Yeah, so L with a quotation, single quote, little apostrophe, L apostrophe Hopital.
I don't really know the name.
L'Hopital.
Maybe not, but that sounds like something that I might have seen in this chapter. So
yeah. Okay,
have done yet, but looked ahead and what's in here?
Yeah. Well, with limits involving infinity, you'll come across it pretty soon if you haven't already.
Yeah, we actually just came back to working with limits that go to infinity.
Okay, yeah. So you're setting the stage for L'Hopital's. The idea behind L'Hopital's, I'll tell you it real quick, and for everybody listening on the pod.
Yeah, this is our educational moment.
Indeed. In order to evaluate some limit where it's infinity squared over infinity or something like that, you're going to have to take the derivative of the function. And taking the first derivative will give you the answer to the limit involving infinity.
Nice.
There you go.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.
That's how she goes.
That is the way she goes.
With that being said, this year, our man's Tim Cook had quite the list of announcements this year.
Really quite,
You
honestly. Normally we're like expecting a new iPhone and that's about it.
And maybe a new Apple Watch.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that's true. We'll
and
get
maybe
like
iPad.
a new series of the watch, something like that. But in recent times, because Apple's expanded their product line so much, you've got now like 3 different versions of the phone. You've got,
Oh yeah.
Now you've got 3 different versions of the watch.
Mm-hmm.
You've got multiple versions of the AirPods.
Yep.
The product line has just expanded to encompass quite a few products.
And this year, it continued to expand, and I would probably guess that it will continue to expand.
Yeah, without
for
a
the
doubt.
foreseeable future.
Yeah. One thing I am kind of interested about is to see where they're going with HomePods, because this one, we haven't heard anything about HomePods in a long time.
So there actually are things going around on the internet because Apple in past years has actually not only had one event around this time of year. They've usually had their major event and then another smaller event. Although this year it's looking like they're not going to have another smaller event, but they will be releasing new products.
Oh, really?
The iPads are rumored to get the M2 chip maybe next month or the month after. And then there's a rumored event towards the end of this year and the start of next year where Apple is expected to unveil their new AR/VR technology, whether that is, Apple glasses and an actual headset for full-on virtual reality. I would like to see Apple glasses. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I would love to see Apple glasses.
Indeed.
I would much prefer Apple glasses over a VR experience.
Yeah, I'm not big. Well, I can't really say I'm not big on VR because I don't own VR. So
you ever tried it?
I have tried it.
Yeah. Have you tried like an Oculus Quest or something like that?
No, I haven't tried the nicer ones.
Yeah, they're super fun for sure, but it's not something that you want to do really on a daily basis. I guess, like any game, you could do it on a daily basis just for your gaming time.
Right.
But with Apple Glass, that's actually got a lot more use cases outside of just pure entertainment.
There's no way in hell I could play VR in my room.
Yeah, because you got your desk right there. You got your bed right there.
I got my freaking big monitor.
Yeah, no matter what,
I would be punching that
You'd
shit.
be cruising for a bruise and doggone it.
Needless to say, myself and the things that I own would definitely be hurt and damaged.
Yeah. Yep. You got to create... Augie, my friend Augie, just recently got an Oculus.
Oh, yeah?
And he created like this little square in his room where he plays.
Yep.
And
you gotta have a little square. I don't have room for a square.
He said, "Welcome to the VR dojo."
Cool. Yeah. I just don't have room for that, but I would really be interested in AR technology.
Yeah.
I think AR technology could be
the future,
very
really
prevalent. Yeah, I'm about to say it could be what we see a lot of in the future. Because my prediction is that we're not going to have iPhones or phones in about 6 to 8 years.
Really, you'll just have like the glasses,
maybe even
the watch
before that. Well, eventually, they're just going to be able. Something's going to happen to this, and it's going to be replaced by something.
Like what? You're very vague right now. I gotta get on the same wavelength with you.
Well, okay. So, we know that there are things like, Apple glasses.
Yeah.
And all that stuff coming. Which the first version of... Well, here's the thing. Because Apple has been rumored to be working on these glasses for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Which means their first version of them could either be or it's going to be incredible right out the gate.
Yeah.
Which might be what they're... I think that's like what they're waiting for. Whenever Apple comes out with their glasses, they want to blow people away.
Yeah.
Because if they can take over like that market and then make them only work with iPhones as well and all that stuff.
Yes.
If they make it the Apple Watch of AR tech, it's going to be expensive, but she's going to be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be real nice.
Look good.
Well, you got to think about Apple historically. When they're busting into a new market, they're always going to take their time to perfect the experience.
But once they bust in, bro, they burst the doors open.
They
They're like, "What's
they
up,
blast
fools?"
the doors off that thing, doggone it.
Mercy.
So you think about like the iPhone back in 2007, 2008, when it first released. Sure, there were things like Palm Pilots that were like the touch screen technology. Nothing was like the iPhone. There was nothing like the iPhone.
Yeah,
it was completely in a class of its own. And
it was the first of its kind.
It was the first of its kind. And that's what Apple tries to do every time they bust into a new market. They did that with the watch. I don't know if you remember back when the watch first came out. It blew everyone's mind at how good it was.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's so small.
Yeah, it's so small, and yet it's so powerful.
What the form factor is that?
Yeah.
Mercy.
Yeah, so the first watch, honestly, I don't know anybody that has the first gen right now, but literally 2 years ago, I knew a girl that bought the first gen. She actually bought it with her spare change. So like she would just collect all of her spare change. Then one day she was like, you know what? I probably have enough money to buy an Apple Watch.
And
so she went to the bank.
Watch?
She had enough money in spare change to buy an Apple Watch, and she bought one.
That's crazy.
And she had the first gen Apple Watch for probably 6 years, dude.
Wow.
Realistically, yeah. And it worked. It just worked.
Yeah.
And
that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line, dude. But Apple does their best to make sure that their products are quality when they release them.
Indeed. And, like this year, there were a couple of their products which they came out with, namely their iPhones that had issues. And, people were, news stories left and right,
My camera's broken.
Which, like, that was a little bit wild, which we talked about in our last podcast. But every year this happens. Every time a new product comes out, there's some problem that they just aren't ready for or they just, didn't expect. But, it gets patched in a week or two, and then no one talks about it.
And I won't even say, like, every year. There are some products that I can say are nearly flawless.
Yeah.
And when you look at the M1, so Apple's been moving toward making their own chips for everything. And we saw that first with the AirPods.
Or wasn't it first with the iPhones?
Well, yeah, I guess, first with the iPhones.
Because they started making...
They're like chips.
Chips. All the way up to A16 Bionic now.
Yeah. So they started that, and then you could see them like slowly branching out, making their own chips for all their products, like for the watch, for their headphones.
And the watch chips are cool, bro.
Dude, every chip of theirs is cool. However, once they got to making chips for their computers, I said game over, dude.
They had perfected their craft.
Yeah. They had perfected their craft enough to trust them against literally the biggest chip manufacturer in the world.
Yep.
So, the bottom line is when you think you're better than them, that's not even your business. Apple's business is the products. It's not the chips. It's not the hardware behind the power of their products. But now it is.
It's the ecosystem.
Now it is. They're so good at doing everything to the T that now they're just making all of their products themselves.
Yep, which is wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
But Apple glasses would not be the first of their kind. Microsoft has a form of AR technology that is very similar to what that would be. It has a industrial application. They're pretty expensive. They're like $1,800 a piece. But it's meant for people who are at work on work sites, and have their AR glasses showing them all the fancy things. But yeah, as of right now, there's not like the everyday carry equivalent of that. And
you won't find somebody walking around with those Microsoft glasses in their daily life.
Right, because they're not built to look like something you will go wear on your daily life. They're built to be, this is the industrial thing. This is what we do at work. Everyone puts on their, work-looking glasses.
Yeah. Thick old boys.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. I'm very excited to see where Apple's going. But let's talk about what they're doing now.
Exactly. Enough about the future. Let's talk about the present. Let's talk about the past.
Indeed. So presently, the big thing that they talked about in this most recent keynote.
can you really say the big thing? Because there was like a couple big things.
Well, I think, in my eyes, the biggest is the addition to the line, and that's the Apple Watches.
Indeed.
The Apple Watch Ultra, more specifically.
The Apple Watch Ultra is a beast.
It's a powerhouse, dude.
It's a pricey beast.
It is a pricey beast.
But a beast nonetheless.
When you think about all of the things that it's doing, all of the services that it's combining, you would have to buy 3 times that if you were using them all individually, if you were buying all these things individually, right? Mm-hmm. So, you buy a fancy, very nice-looking watch. That, depending on what watch you're getting, that could be more than the price of the Apple Watch Ultra already. Mm-hmm. But then you add in a dive watch, and that could be like, about the price of the Apple Watch already.
Yep.
Then you add in a watch that you might be able to use for rock climbing. Okay, that's probably
there you go.
That's probably the price of the Apple Watch yet again.
And then you also add in the fact that it's also an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And then
and then you're like, oh my gosh, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck.
You're getting crazy battery life.
Yeah, that was the most impressive feature to me. What do you get? 30?
I think it's 30 hours off a charge, up to like 60 hours if you use low power mode, I believe.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I wonder why it took them so long to come out with a low power mode on the watch that didn't turn off the screen and make it unusable. Maybe it I mean, I don't know what goes into that. I don't claim to know what actually goes into that type of,
technology.
Yeah. So it could have been hard.
Yeah. Well, also, you got to think about on the Apple Watch, what's the difference between the Apple Watch and the phone?
A decent amount, really.
That's what I'm saying. On the phone, though, what low power mode does is it reduces some visual effects. It does like some minor things in the background that you would never be able to see on the Apple Watch because you're just looking at the Apple Watch, right?
Yeah.
You're more than likely not pressing anything. You're not changing between screens. You're just looking at the face. And that right there is a function that can't really be done simpler.
And so how they made the low power mode is if you turn it on, your always on screen will be turned off, and then it'll stop automatically checking to see if you are doing an exercise. And I believe it doesn't monitor your heart rate nearly as often.
Okay.
So it saves power by not actively using the gyro and accelerometer. It saves power by not using the heartbeat sensing as much. And it saves power by not having its screen be always on.
Yeah.
Obviously would save power.
Yeah.
And I think there might be a couple other things it does in the background to save power, but I mean, it just all around saves you quite a bit of power. I don't use it often. I probably should use it more so that my watch doesn't die, but
well, it doesn't matter. Do you charge your watch every night?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I do sleep tracking.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah,
of which, in the new iOS this year, they upgraded their sleep tracking, and I watched a video on YouTube where a guy did a experiment with this sleep tracking, checking how accurate it was against other technologies that claim to be able to do the same thing, and they actually found out that the Apple Watch is one of the best at accurately knowing whenever you are in different sleep cycles.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, Apple, they're a tech company, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And they create a technology. But because they're so good at creating technology, they literally blow competitors out of the water.
Right.
With their tech. So, one thing that MKBHD, I don't know if y'all have ever seen Marcus Brownlee on YouTube. He talks about the fact that Apple is like a shark. And there's a bunch of little companies that are like the fish that eat like the barnacles on a shark, or whatever You know what I'm referring to,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
The fish that follow the shark around, they eat after the shark. You know, the shark will have its nice big old meal. It'll eat a seal or something. And then the little fish will get the scraps of the seal.
Right.
Okay. And Tile, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the GPS Tile trackers. That was precisely one of those companies.
Mm-hmm.
And Apple came out with the AirTags
Yep.
and got rid of them.
Yep.
And they're doing the same thing slowly with everything.
Yeah.
With sleep tracking, there are a bunch of companies that create little sleep trackers for you. They're something you can wear, some app on your phone that sits next to you, some ring that you can wear. You know, whatever the case may be, Apple's going to do it, and they're going to do it better than those people that's their job,
Right.
their only job.
And you can make the argument of like, well, okay, like, well, other people have already had this technology for 2 or 3 years. Yes. But when Apple eventually comes out with it, it's better than what the competition has.
Bro, I'm actually kind of getting scared.
Yeah.
When is that
These
storm about to
hurricane
hit
days
us?
Soon, bro.
Oh my gosh. Wow. We're about to have to batten down hatches in a minute, man. What in the world?
We might have to cut the podcast short because of the rain, bro. It's going to be loud.
Dude, I'm straight up hearing like this house is about to fall down or something, man.
Honestly.
It's literally like, you know the three little pigs and whatnot. Like I huffed and I puffed and I blew his house down.
Bro, this baby's about to get blown.
This baby about to get blown down. The big bad wolf is about to find us, bro. That's crazy.
And that big bad wolf his name is Ian, bro.
Ian?
Yeah, Ian.
That's what they named this one?
Yeah, this one's Ian.
Dude, I haven't been following it whatsoever. I feel so out of the loop. People are like, oh, there's a hurricane about to hit. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I've known that there's a hurricane about to hit. I've seen like a few pictures and videos of the impacts on the internet. But aside from that, I've like checked my radar a couple times. Oh, Marcy. She's getting close.
Oh, mercy. I'm literally about to look at my radar.
Here we go, right?
Oh, my goodness.
That's where it is right there. And then we zoom out. Yeah, we're like right on the edge right now.
Dude, for some reason, mine was zoomed into the beach.
That's funny.
That is weird. Oh, you were saying Apple will take longer to do it?
But I think it's worth having to wait, you know, like maybe a year or two to have better technology. That's in my opinion. Some people don't want to wait. That's fine.
Yeah.
But don't be dogging me because I choose to wait.
Exactly, dude.
Now, I will say Apple has this problem where they're like, this is a groundbreaking new technology. It's not.
No,
You
yeah.
know, it's like this has been out for a couple of years. Maybe you can come up with better words to describe your products.
Yeah.
It's like, it's impressive, but it's not groundbreaking.
Yeah. Maybe a word that, like, actually demonstrates how it's better than the competition.
Yeah.
Because it really isn't groundbreaking. It's just superior.
Yeah. Like, it's not like something new. Like,
yeah.
It's not a new technology. It's just better than the existing ones.
Yeah, exactly. And that distinction should be made. I think it confuses a lot of people when they're like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. Android's had this for 4 years and now Apple's finally getting it. Yeah, that's right. But
yeah, you know?
It's actually way better.
Yeah. For instance, I mean, people are like, oh, Apple's got 48 megapixel cameras on their phones this year. Android's got like 100 something. And it's like, yeah, but you look at the two pictures side by side. As a matter of fact, I might link a video I watched on YouTube that compares them, and like the iPhone doesn't always win, but the Android certainly doesn't always win. As a matter of fact, I think the Apple phone wins more than the Android, but it's gotten to the point where both pictures are so high quality. There's just like, you know, small details like, oh, this one, the focus is more on like, you know, this object or that object, or like this area is like mildly too dark or too bright. So it's not like major differences. So while one is 48 megapixel, one's like 108, there's not a massive difference between them, simply because it's not all about just how many megapixels you have. Like, I've taken pictures with the 48 megapixel camera, but once you end up like processing them and editing them, at the end of the day, you process it down to 12.
Yeah.
You
That's
take
true.
more, and then you edit with that extra light, but at the end of the day, whenever you're done, that file gets shrunk back down.
Yeah. And also, the thing that you need to realize is the fact that your camera megapixel count means nothing. Because you
I
could be
wouldn't say it
using...
means nothing.
Oh, yeah, I won't say it means nothing, but
it doesn't
I will say you could be using a 140 megapixel phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if your phone does 0 image processing, you just get a raw, very clear, but raw, like, decently trash image. Something that you wouldn't post, even though it is 140 megapixels.
Bro, the freaking image processing.
The thing, I was about to say that.
The image processing.
The image processing that Apple does, their neural networks are top notch. I don't know what exactly they're doing behind the scenes to make sure that they have the best AI in the game, but they just have the best AI in the game.
One of the things that is being done these days, especially by Apple, and this is where Apple really leads above everyone else, is with AI. So people found out that you can make a phone or a laptop or iPad, PC, anything run much better if, along with the processing chip and the GPU, right, CPU, GPU, all them fools, you also run a neural engine. And Apple, I think, packs, it's either a 12 or a 16 core neural engine in this phone. That's helps,
crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
It just,
by the way,
the
phone you held up is the new iPhone 14 Pro.
14 Pro, deep purple, looks beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous phone. With that little MagSafe case on it.
Oh, the MagSafe case.
Beautiful.
Nice little circle around the little boy there. Yeah, but I've taken some pictures with the new phone, and I love the amazing quality it offers. I will say that if you are trying to just buy something to take good pictures, go buy a camera, because a camera is infinitely more customizable in how you take the pictures than an iPhone.
Yeah.
But an iPhone is also an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it's a phone. It's got that 120 hertz refresh rate.
Well, I would compare it to you've got the DSLR and then you've got the point and shoot.
Yeah.
I would compare the iPhone to the point and shoot because those are the cameras that you just pull it out. You see something crazy, you pull it out.
Right.
Click a little picture on there.
Mm-hmm.
With an iPhone, it's doing a lot more image processing, obviously, than your point and shoot, which is probably doing 0 or just minor.
Yeah. Because most of that is in
done
post.
By you.
Yeah. It's done in post by you, but instead you just got a neural engine on board doing
it for you. And that's what I love. Apple is built for the everyday photographer. It's for the people that will never have a business in photography, but they still want pictures that are the quality of people's that do that full time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have your neural engine that happens to work full time.
Yep.
It happens to work full time for free, which is incredible.
Well, I don't know if it works full time for free. It's got a hefty price tag on it.
Well, it's got a hefty price tag. I'd say the neural engine is an add-on there because you don't need the neural engine for the phone. Well, now obviously you do because everything works together. But
these days,
you could buy a phone without a neural engine and you still make phone call. You still be texting.
It still do what it do.
Still do what it do, just not as good.
Yep. Just not as well. That's the bottom line. It's all these other companies are doing what they do, but for the most part, not as well as Apple. There are some things I'm not gonna kiss at Apple's ass always and say that Apple is the freaking new messiah.
Apple is Jesus.
No, that's just not the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Apple's got a lot of problems, but in my opinion, they have less than the rest of the market, and they have the products that I want to buy. Something that I would be interested in. So Apple has recently taken to going to this quote-unquote industrial look.
Yeah.
With their newer phones, with these flat edges and all that. I wonder how long Apple is going to be around and how far the vast scape of the products they cover could expand.
I think they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, what if they decide to step out of the tech field, go elsewhere?
What do you mean?
They could do. I mean, like, well, what if they say, well, instead of just making like these type of tech products, they make like power tools or something. Apple power tools.
Whoa. Well, it would still be like technology. You're not
Right.
saying that
Well,
they'll.
you know, it's not stepping entirely outside of tech,
Yeah.
but outside of the iPhone, iPad, Mac, you know. All that type
just the products for the everyday person.
mm-hmm.
I think at a certain point, they're just such a big company.
Because
They've got to have a division working on everything.
They would look futuristic as hell. That would be futuristic.
Imagine you.
Like, that'd be some shit
Oh
straight
my
out of
gosh.
movies.
Imagine your Apple drill, dude. That thing would have wireless charging. It would never run out of battery.
It'd be crazy, bro. It'd be drilling with lasers.
Yeah, literally, dude. Yeah, that thing would be a laser cutter.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see some crazy stuff there.
Oh yeah, dude. If Apple got into agriculture, that's one thing that I've thought about making a business out of, because right now there's so many processes in agriculture that are super rote. They're like just the same thing that you're doing, day in and day out multiple times a day.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first thing that can be optimized using AI.
Yeah. Artificial
that-
intelligence.
Those things like that, the problems that should be solved first are the ones that we're just doing over and over again every day. That there's not really a whole lot involved in them. It's just that they have to get done.
Right.
And they have to get done multiple times a day, every day.
Yeah, because
And like, for instance,
it's just stuff that's got to happen.
I'll give you the perfect example. And it's milking
Alright.
a cow. All right?
Yeah.
Right now, they've got decent technology, right? They've got the suction, just goes up to the cow's udder, suctions it, right?
Yep.
However, you could make AI to stick the suction on the cow.
Yeah.
You can make AI to tell you when the cow was ready for that suction.
Yeah. You know?
You can make AI to do that entire process for you pretty easily.
Yep.
Every cow looks more or less the same. Every cow udder looks more or less the same. You're using the same tool for the job every time.
Yep.
You could have an AI herder. You herd the cows into the barn, milk the cows, herd them out of the barn.
There you go.
And that saves a lot of time and energy for somebody to actually have to do it.
But some people don't want that. Like, they're like, oh, we don't want these things taking our jobs. And, well...
No, there's other jobs because...
Yeah, it's like, well, doing that will allow us to create new jobs. And, I mean, well, that's kind of how we advance as
a society, yeah.
As a society, is we need to move away from doing these more, like, rough, raw, menial tasks and move on to the more advanced stuff.
I see it a lot the same as you're always going to have problems in life. It's just you want to solve the problems that you like solving.
Right.
So you get past, you solve the crappier problems of your life. You have to get money to eat. You have to, all the survival, basic needs stuff.
Live.
And then eventually you can solve problems like, I've got so much money, I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
Those are the problems that you want to be able to solve.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you've got to build up to that point. And I think people saying, oh, blah, 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 you're taking our jobs. Yeah, we're taking your job, but we're giving you a job in AI.
Bada bing, bada boom.
It's like there's a lot of people that seem unwilling to adapt. And the bottom line is there will be a certain point when you don't have to adapt because we'll have pretty much everything constantly working for you.
Well,
and at that point, we'll be like looking at a universal basic income or something like that.
So,
but until we get there, you need to adapt.
Something that's interesting. There are universes in science fiction where like everything is being done by robots or AI or something, which leaves us able to do what we enjoy, which is to explore and to just go oot and a boot and go find out new things, make scientific discoveries and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
and,
if you think about the Renaissance era, okay? Renaissance era was filled with creativity, new inventions, things like that. However, in order to have the Renaissance, you had to have a certain level of wealth achieved by all the people.
Right.
And in order to achieve that wealth, you had to work.
Right.
So it's always, life goes in cycles, and the cycle after tons of hardship and turmoil, working, putting in the effort, putting in the hours. prosperity. You're going to flourish.
Yeah.
After planting your tree and watering it every single day, there comes a certain point when you don't have to water every day. The rain just waters it.
There you
and
go.
guess what? You still, every single season, collect the fruit.
You're out there picking them lemons.
Yes, sir. And the idea is we want to make sure that everybody is picking their lemons, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And in order to do that, we've got to take some jobs in the meantime.
Exactly. And, you know, it's going to be an adjustment process, but it's... If we're going to keep on moving forward, it has to happen.
Yeah. And I think
eventually.
I hate the idea of moving forward. Like, that's always been weird to me. I think of moving vertically rather than horizontal. Because I think horizontal is you're staying in the same place more or less. You're just moving around it. Vertically, you're going up.
Well, I mean, saying moving forward has less to do with, like, what direction you're moving, but more of, like, a transition to something that is more than what you are currently.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's a fair definition.
Indeed.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, Apple.
Apple, man. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Apple Watch Ultra, as we have already, but the main thing is the fact that they've decided to incorporate a new button.
Yeah, they added a new programmable button. The action button, correct?
Action button.
I think so.
Yeah.
Action button.
And the thing is, for me, I have wanted that so bad, dude.
I kind of wish they put it on something that wasn't just the Ultra, though.
Ultra, yeah. I might honestly get an Ultra at some point in time,
Ooh.
but I do wish that every watch had it, because there have been so many times when I'm swimming and it says record outdoor swim, and I can't click that doggone screen. No way, no how.
Yeah.
My fingers are wet. The screen's wet.
Well,
no
actually,
way. If I had the action button, however, I could just click record.
Bada bing, bada,
Bada
boom,
bing,
baby.
bada boom, baby.
Love that.
Man.
But I don't think we mentioned this, but the Apple Watch Ultra is $799. So, like, it is by no means a cheap product. Excuse me. It is meant for the pro users, as it would be. I mean, it's designed for not a niche, but a set of niches, being running, diving, and going climbing / hiking.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's what it was built for. It was built for all of them fairly equally. It's big. It has a 49 millimeter screen. It's pretty massive.
The largest ever.
Yeah, it's got a 2000 nits max brightness screen. For those of you who don't know what that means,
She bright.
the iPhone 13 max brightness is 1200 nits. I don't know if you've ever seen that. The brightness of, I don't know what the brightness of, what's your brightness of your average TV? Well, I guess people have their TVs on different brightnesses. It's bright. It's to the point where you can see it easily.
Very easily.
Very
if you're
easily,
in perfect direct sun, you're going to be able to see that face just fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Which, makes sense, because especially for the climbers,
Right.
the people that are climbing on the mountain, they need to be able to see that screen no matter if their like back is to the sun the entire time they're climbing up that mountain, you know? The sun could be shining right on it, and you're fine.
And the Apple Watch Ultra, I mean, it was built to be used outside. It's got that, so the titanium case, its sides go up around the screen itself. It doesn't curve around the edges. And what that does is it keeps the edges of the screen from being nicked or hit on like a rock or something, as you're going on your hike or your run, or if you're underwater going for a swim, it keeps that safe. And some people don't like that. There are a couple people who think that it doesn't look good because it looks different, and it does stand out a lot. But in comparison to technology that's able to do the same thing, most other hiking watches or diving watches or running watches, they're big, they're bulky, and they're noticeable on your wrist. And I don't think a 49 millimeter Apple Watch is that noticeable. And to be honest, I don't think that's that much of an issue. Like some people are like, oh, it's so big, it's so bulky, that's not fashionable, But well, it wasn't built for fashion to start with, and at the bottom line, it's a big or clean but rugged watch.
Yeah, that really is the bottom line. What it comes down to is that Apple didn't build it for fashion. They built it for the heavy outdoor users.
But it still looks clean. It looks smooth. It looks sci-fi.
It does look slick. I'll give you that for sure.
Apple is really good at making their products look slick.
They literally, every single Apple product I have ever seen looks like something from the future.
Is visually appeasing to me.
Appeasing.
Looking at my phone,
it appeases me.
Look at that bottom right there.
I know.
It's exposed and nice and shiny. I always look at that. I'm like, man, that looks cool.
Yeah, bro. I remember the first iPhone I picked up.
They're
the regular,
crazy,
the original iPhone.
The OG?
The OG iPhone, dude.
Dang.
And I remember I saw my aunt using it.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt, her husband owns a tech company, and so he was always getting like the earliest release tech and all that.
Tech.
And I saw her using an iPhone. I had never seen an iPhone. I had never heard anything about it.
Oh.
And I see this thing.
Yeah.
And I said, what is that? And she showed me and let me play a game on it.
Yeah.
My life changed.
Dude,
From that, I can point to that moment and say, yeah, that's when it all changed. But the reality is their products look so out of this world.
Honestly.
They look so futuristic. They are the future, man.
That's the bottom line.
They're bringing the future to the present is what they are.
Indeed. I mean, a lot of things in science fiction have eventually come around to be actual, technologies.
Flying cars.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Cars,
I'm messing around.
Like automatic opening doors, that slide. Those were originally seen in Star Trek.
Really?
But then someone said, well, wait a minute. We can make those. And then they did. Now we got sliding doors.
Wow.
Phones that are portable, go in your pocket. Originally in science fiction. Someone said, no, wait a minute. I can make that.
Yeah.
And they did. And now look at what we got.
Oh, my gosh, man.
The stuff we can do with these phones is crazy.
The
It is
craziest
wild.
thing is,
it blows my mind.
No, the stuff that we can do with these phones is literally unthinkable if you lived 50 years ago.
The stuff that we can do on an everyday basis, we've had technology for such a small span of time.
Yeah.
In the history of, time, and then the Earth, and then humans on the Earth, and then known history.
Yeah.
It's still such a small sliver of time. And a lot of people take it all for granted. Like, no, this is crazy.
Yeah.
The
I was
stuff we
talking
can do
with
is
a friend of mine.
crazy. It's wild.
I was talking with a friend of mine a little while ago about this same topic. I was talking with Tim, and I said, dude, do you realize that we're living in the craziest time of history ever?
Yeah.
And he said, no, we're not. What are you talking about? Think about 1900 to, or I think he said 1800 to 1900. And I said, dude, what are you talking about? Literally in the last 20 years, we've seen crazier things than that entire century. In the past 2 decades, we've seen more than that entire century.
Life moves at a very quick pace these days.
Exponentially, because you got to think about the fact that every 4 years, processing power doubles. That's Moore's law. It's roughly every 4 years, it doubles.
Moore's law looks like it's going to break,
Yeah, we're getting to the point of really what's physically possible.
Yeah. Because
there's a certain point when your transistors are so small
they're as small as
that there's literally not any physical space. They take up such small physical space that if they were to take up less, it would just be non-existent.
I know we said that that this was the Apple podcast, but there was some other tech stuff because this is the tech time of year, right?
Yeah.
This is the tech season. We love this season, and it's fall.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better.
It does not, and
tech,
it's just
great
before
weather.
Christmas too. So that
Black
the tech
Friday's
you're hearing
coming
about,
in,
you can
discounts.
maybe think about getting it for yourself.
It's great, best time of year.
Yeah,
and you got Christmas. Just Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
all that good food.
All that good stuff, man. Breaks off school.
Best time of year. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Bro,
but
speaking of that, actually, a little side note.
oh,
You know, we have a break at our school only because students were killing themselves.
wait, what?
Like, all right, so back in the day,
Wait,
not fast forward, reverse, 5 year, actually, I think it was about 7 years ago, there were a ton of suicides at our university.
like how many? Like 10, 20,
Like
50?
10, like a lot.
Yeah, I mean 10's a lot.
10's a decent number
10's
for sure, yeah.
10 is an outlier.
Yeah. Anyway, like a lot. And they chalked it up to the fact that they didn't have enough breaks for people to like relax and think about their mental health. And now we have a 1 day break. We literally have
It's
a
just
Friday.
1 day.
It's we get the Friday before Thanksgiving. And
Wait,
then
the Friday-
so I guess it's more than that.
No, the
So it's-
Thanksgiving's on a I thought it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off.
We do get that too. That's the regular Thanksgiving break. We get something called a fall pause though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the fall pause is like 1 extra day, maybe 2 extra days.
Oh.
And yeah, we have fall pause in observance of the people that committed suicide because they didn't have fall pause.
Wow. Well, thanks for having fall pause.
Yeah, thanks to our university for giving us that break.
That maybe was bleeped or cut out. Who knows?
There was probably half of that. I don't know.
Something like that. Who knows?
I don't think all of that was left in there, but some of it was.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. But hey, how are you going to know?
I don't know at this point, that's for sure.
Yeah. What were we talking? Oh, yeah.
We were talking about how crazy technology is.
Tech time of year. And the company, AMD, just came out with the new processors, and they were like, look at this. We smoke last year's stuff. Look at this 12th gen crappy stuff off Intel. And then Intel's like, yeah, you're fun. And then like 2 days later, they're like, 13th generation. Here it is, dropping it. But they also unveiled a new technology where they're working to do processing with particles of light. Because light is both a particle and a wave, which mean and they like take advantage of that for the processing. There's nothing like that is on the market for it right now, but they were just showing off like, hey, this is something that we're doing. Looks promising, bro.
Yeah, I've actually got something to add to that because
that could overcome Moore's law, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe, dude, that'd be sick. But one thing that I have done a little bit of dabbling into is the reflection of light off of metals like gold and silver. Because light acts differently when reflecting off of those metals.
Light's interesting, dude.
Yeah, and actually, if you look at what's going on molecularly with the metals, when light hits them, it's crazy, dude. It's like energizing the metal themselves.
Light is so cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Anyway, I had a professor. I actually dropped his class and switched to a different section of the course because he just wasn't getting through the material. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. His research was sick. He was doing stuff with that. I talked to him a little bit about it, and obviously I'm a computer science major, and this is actually a chemistry class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a chemistry subject that might relate to computer science. However, I was talking to him a little bit about it, and the idea is that there would be literally like zero cap on the speed that you could process information. Well, it would literally be light speed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So imagine that. Imagine we get to a point where we're processing, well, we already are, I guess, with fiber optics. We're processing information using light.
Yeah.
However, we're not doing that really inside of our own computer.
Well, that's not much as a processing. That's just
it's just pushing.
Along.
Yeah, passing along the signal.
That's just transferring, baby.
Yeah, that's just transmitting.
Transferring data to you.
Yes, sir. No, we'll be moving to a future where there's the potential for exponential processing increase above Moore's law.
I think we're coming up here on some groundbreaking technology. Some real groundbreaking technology. Not some Apple groundbreaking technology. Some real groundbreaking.
Not something you've seen before. They just do it better. Like some stuff that we've never seen before.
Yeah, some real new stuff.
Yeah, dude. Man. No, I'd love to be a part of the cutting edge. I love to be a part of the group of people making new technology.
It's great. It's nice to be riding on the forefront of progress.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude, when you think about it. Like I said, this is literally the craziest time that we've had in recorded history.
I mean, yeah, like we could just go around and look at everything in this room, and we could just talk about it in length about how, I mean, to be honest, it's crazy how it came to be, what it is, what it does, the fact that we can just have it here, and of it, like, we're inside a building with electricity using iMacs and phones and absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Currently going through us, there is information being transferred over Wi-Fi, over radio. I mean, it's all just happening.
Yeah. And when my grandparents were kids, I guarantee you the world that they envisioned for themselves when they were old looked nothing like this.
It was not this.
It was nothing like this. And imagine like the world our grandkids are going to be living in.
Dude, it's going to be wild.
It is going to be crazy, dude.
If it's not a nuclear wasteland,
Yeah, well, that would still be wild, but in a different way.
It'd be wild in a different way. It'd not be wild because of how cool it was. It'd be wild of how much of a burning hell it was. But
yeah, that would actually suck. I hope that doesn't happen, man.
I certainly hope not.
You know, I feel like these days we're about as close as we've ever been. Like during the Cold War, obviously we might have been a little closer to nuclear war.
It might have been
right now,
real close to nuclear war during the Cold War.
Yeah. However, right now we're always kind of close.
Yeah, I mean,
there's tensions all over the globe, always, bro.
There's always going to be tensions, and it's so annoying because it's all just petty politics,
That's really what it is, dude. It's like, I wish that we could just. Well, no, I would say I wish we could just like all come together and say, hey, this is everybody's Earth. Like, we got to start taking care of it and, have regulations for everybody on the whole. But then I realized
So I was actually just watching a Vsauce video about the future of reasoning. And, like, it talks about, like, we say, I wish we could all just come together and, like, stop emitting stuff into the atmosphere and all that. Well, it's not that simple. It's hard to get everybody on board when it affects jobs here, but it affects food there, and then it affects this here and that there, and you have to react differently in every different place. There's like, we live in such a crazy, like, there's so many different parts of the world that all need their own fix to the same problem.
Yeah.
But you got to find all those fixes to that problem that causes the least amount of disruption in the everyday lives of people. Now, people do have to realize there will be some disruption in that changing process. That's just how change works. But
yeah, there's no way to change without disruption.
Yeah, I mean that's
that's
what change is.
That's literally what change is. The definition of change.
It disrupts whatever was just going on.
Yeah.
And brings about something new.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether that's better or worse, I mean that's different. But
one thing I've seen historically is that the people that get the most done are the people that are less diverse. It's like a less diverse group. So I was thinking, like, it'd be great for us all to come together, right? Mm-hmm. However, I think every nation in and of themselves needs to solve the problems of their nation. Like America has tons of problems that also coincide with a lot of other developed nations' problems. However, the difference is the demographics. We're all Americans. They're all whatever they are. They might be Chinese, Japanese, South Korean, whatever they are.
Just Asians, guys. Just
all right.
Africans, Indians.
Africans, Indians, Asians, whatever they are.
European.
We've all got a lot of the same problems to solve, but we're probably going to have to go about it different ways, just based off of who we are as a people.
But there are some problems that's like, like this is something that we'd all like to solve. For instance, one of them is nuclear fusion.
Yes.
That's a project that's being worked on by adversaries. Like, there are people who are adversaries of each other that are all, because I think China and the United States and a couple of other countries that aren't too friendly with each other are all working on the ITER reactor. I forgot what that stands for again, but
a fusion reactor.
Yeah, and it's just a joint project where everyone works together. Different people like manufacture different pieces. They get sent over. Then some countries focus more on the scientific aspects, some of the manufacturing, some of the safety, and everyone's kind of helping to put their best stuff forward to get this new technology as a species, because fusion is incredible. And if we can get, fusion power,
we'll have solved the energy problem.
Yeah. And, once we get one working, it's going to take a while to build the fusion reactors around the world. But, once it's done,
just unlimited power.
It's done.
Infinite power.
Infinite.
And it all comes back to what I was saying earlier. We're always going to have problems, but we just solve the problems that are here to get us to better problems.
Yeah. And so by solving our problems here and publishing our results, other people can take those and they can say, how can I adapt this fix? Or they can say, well, okay, this fix doesn't necessarily work for me, but I can look at the train of thought or how they came to find this solution and then apply
the layout,
that
the plan, the schematics.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then build their own.
Anyways, Apple has new AirPods this year.
Bro, we're on the same wavelength. I was literally about to say that. What the hell? That is crazy, bro. Man.
That's wild. Anyways,
that is wild.
Apple's got new AirPods, bro.
Yeah, Apple got new AirPods. And the craziest feature I think about the new AirPods is that it will adjust the sound when you're in transparency mode. It will adjust the sound of what's coming in to a listenable decibel range. Say, for instance, you hear a fire truck going down the road. It'll still pump that in, but how my AirPods, I've got the Gen 1 AirPod Pros, my AirPods will bust it open when I'm hearing a loud siren going next to me. However, these new ones have real-time processing, again, using neural networking to change that sound, just transpose it down to a actual listenable range.
Yeah.
Listenable volume. It'll be the same sound, just lower volume.
Apple is wild because this year, AirPods Pros in and of themselves were wild. They're crazy. I have a pair. They're right here. They're nuts. I love them. And, there's always the jokes like, once someone has AirPods Pro, they always have them in their ear because they're incredible.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not?
Yeah, there's the idea of, AirPods people who, wherever they're going, they're wearing AirPods.
Why not, dude?
Yeah, especially in big cities.
With transparency mode.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
With these new ones with even better transparency mode. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think they're really hoping for people to start just wearing them wherever they go, whatever they're doing, just have transparency mode on. Yeah. Because they are really nice. It tells you, it reads your text when they come in.
I love that.
It tells you notifications if you have that turned on. And you can reply to things. You can be on the phone call.
Yeah. You can, I can have an AirPod in, be like washing dishes or something. Someone calls and I'm like, oh, my hands are all soapy and wet. Hey, Siri, answer.
Yeah.
And Siri answers.
And now, also, did you see this update? Hey, Siri, hang up.
Yep.
Let me know if you want to make a call.
Shush, Siri. Siri, thank you for listening to me, but not right now.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, a lot of insane technology, and I'm just so glad that we're here to witness it.
Yeah. The new AirPods got more battery life as well. I think the current ones went for 4 hours on a charge.
4 or 6, yeah.
And the new ones go 6. With 30 total hours if you have the case with you. The case now better supports MagSafe charging.
Yes.
Also is able to be charged with the Apple Watch charger now, which is cool.
That is one addition that I've always wanted.
Yeah, just being able to slap an Apple Watch charger.
I've tried so hard, dude. Because the other,
I've tried as well.
the original AirPods
Pro.
No, the original AirPods.
Oh,
yeah.
The original AirPods.
Original AirPod with the wireless charging case. So AirPods.
The original
2s.
AirPods with the wireless charging.
Original AirPod 2s.
There's so many different versions now.
So those ones I tried with my Apple Watch charger because I thought it would work. It's like about the size to be perfect.
Yeah,
they are kind of very similar to the size of the Apple Watch.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a little big, little wider, a little taller, but relatively the same size. So I thought it would work, and I was so disappointed to find that it did not.
Mercy.
Mercy's right.
Yeah. They also added some external speakers on the bottom of the case, so you can make a chime and find your case. But they also added a new chip inside the case itself that allows the case to be pinpoint tracked with your phone, which is incredible. Not to mention, they got new chips in the actual AirPods themselves, the H2s. Apple always has a letter and a number. They have their M1, their M2, A15s, and they got their H.
Yeah.
I forgot what the Apple Watch is.
I don't know. W.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other H2 for more processing.
Yeah, and like I said, so
more
they can
power
handle that
efficient,
feature where it'll
better
transpose
neural engine.
loud volumes to manageable volumes.
Yep. They also improved their noise canceling. I think
apparently, the number that they floated was 2 times better.
Well, right. That's one thing that Apple likes to do though, is they put out like a big number and then it's like, but like, what's that mean?
Yeah, where did this metric
like
come
2
from?
times what?
Yeah, no, yeah. What were the variables involved in this experience?
Right.
Experiment.
People are like, oh, numbers don't lie. Bullshit. Numbers lie all the time.
Yeah.
It's actually
numbers don't lie, but you can lie with numbers.
Well, numbers. Okay. When people say numbers don't, all right. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know that boy. You know what I mean.
Numbers don't lie, but you definitely can lie with numbers. I'll say that, dude.
Like, Apple likes to like have a graph of something on the screen, and then they don't have like any units on the graph, and it's like, this is our performance. It's like, okay, that's cool. That's not great.
Yeah, excellent.
Love to see it.
Yep.
Keep doing that. Whatever that is.
I remember the graph that they brought out for the M1, and it was like just a couple little like
it's just some like
just a couple minor like half parabolas.
It's like,
and it's like, what exactly is this? There was like,
that's incredible.
I don't even know if the graphs had labels on the axes.
They probably don't. They usually don't.
There was definitely no label on the graph itself. It was just like the slide said like performance.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it had like M1 just way above everything else. It's just like, what does this mean, dude?
But I mean,
and then that one specifically also they labeled the competing cards just like not what they were. One of them was labeled, I think, what it was. The other one was just like something like competing card or something. I don't know, dude.
I don't think they're so like, to some degree there's some stuff that you can't do talking about a different company, especially if you're not going to show the actual like stats themselves. You probably wouldn't want to have those numbers. But I mean, why start beef with like a certain thing whenever you could just go ahead and say, let's just tie them all up in one and say, ours is better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man, what else?
I don't know. We've been going for a while.
We have been going for a long time.
I guess there's a new temperature sensor in the Apple Watch now. Oh, there crash detection in the new phone.
Yes.
Actually, we didn't really talk about
the new phone.
The new phone. So I bought Apple's new phone, the 14 Pro, the only one that really had all the interesting new features. The iPhone 14 base model is effectively the iPhone 13 Pro from last year at like a lower price point. It's got worse cameras than the Pro, but it also has better cameras in other ways. It's better in low light. It also has Apple's new image processing. It does not have the new processing chip. It uses last year's A15 Bionic with the 6-core GPU. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
Now, one thing to note is it does not have a 120 hertz screen.
Yeah, so you're going to be slapped with that 60 refresh rate.
If you care, now a lot of people don't care. I care.
But you were also playing COD Mobile at full settings.
Well, that was as an experiment.
Yeah, but I'm saying, most characters aren't playing video games excessively on their iPhones.
I just like the smoothness of the screen as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of the screen, they added always on display to the iPhone 14
and I was
going to
ask you about this too, because you're now a week in. You've been a week with the phone.
It's weekend? Wow, yeah.
How has it been, dude, with the battery life?
Dude, So I carry around this portable
MagSafe charger.
from MagSafe and all that, and needless to say, I have trouble where like it's annoying where I can't have this on the back of my phone because it's got too much power. Like I don't use enough electricity, man.
Wow.
I can't drain its battery.
You cannot drain that thing's battery, even though it's always on.
Yeah, I left it on, and I have this really bad habit where I like leave my phone on in my bed, and because my phone's set to not turn itself off, just because I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I used to wake up and my phone was either dead or almost dead, and I mean, I left it on for 6 hours, maybe 7 hours last night. Let's go look at how much battery it drained. So 6 or 7 hours being on YouTube, and I woke up and it was above 50% still.
Oh my gosh.
That
is mind-boggling. That is actual beautiful, beautiful conservation of power.
Like, dude, this phone's power efficient as
That's
heck,
ridiculous, man.
It's crazy, and it's honestly incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is truly incredible.
Yeah, it's got new cameras. It's got new colors. The flash module on it, the actual flashlight, is brighter. It's a lot more useful. I mean, it's bright in this room, and it actually makes a difference.
Yeah.
The always on display looks clean. It looks beautiful, especially this face right here.
The Earth face. Does it spin?
Face. It does. It moves in real time.
Whoa! I didn't actually know that feature. I might have to add one of those faces.
The always on display, I mean, it's not like life changing. It's been nice. There multiple times where it's just like, oh yeah, there you go. I can just see that. The whole experience has been really smooth. My phone has crashed once, but I'm on a beta version of software. So I always run the betas pretty much, which means I crash maybe one. I was running the beta. I'm running betas for like 3 or 4 months now, maybe less. But on my iPhone 11 Pro, I think I had 2 crashes. On my iPad, I've had 1, and on this phone, I've had 1. That's like 4 crashes running on beta versions. And about 2 of those crashes have been like, it's probably my fault. Like
you were actively trying to break it.
Yeah, which I did. I was actually, I'm like, can I break something? And I did. Like, cool. All right, that's nice. But what's great about Apple though, whenever Apple crashes, your screen just turns black. It loads for 2 seconds, and then you're back. Like it's quick. Apple knows that if it crashes, it's like, and we're back. It's like, okay, that was whack. Let's not do that again. And then it just gets right back to it. And then, you send your report to Apple. But, yeah, I've never really had to wait for anything to load.
Yeah.
Which has been nice.
That is super nice.
I mean, if I usually have to wait for something to load, it's usually because of, like, my internet speeds. Because one thing that I have in this phone that I didn't have on the old one is I got 5G.
Yes, sir.
But where we are, we're, like, over that way. I'm just going to point for you. There is a 5G tower, but there's an LTE tower really close to us. Okay. So I'm constantly pinging back and forth.
Between my gosh!
Picking up the 5G, getting on the LTE. It's funny, man.
That is funny.
So we're like not in the most optimal spot, but I mean, 5G hasn't been life changing.
Yeah, no way.
I mean, it's been nice to have.
And also, if you had 4G LTE that was decent in the past,
yeah, you're
already running about as fast as it needs to be for normal usage. Now, where you would really see the big improvement is in something like if you were watching or if you were playing a game,
right.
Because if you're playing an online game, that's where the speed really mattars. But more than likely, you're going to be at home on Wi-Fi that's already 5G.
Actually, online games do not use a lot of bandwidth.
Oh, really?
I played Warzone for like 2 hours and used like maybe half a gig.
On your phone?
Off my hotspot.
Oh, wow. That's crazy, actually.
Yeah, so
because even FaceTime will use like double that.
Well, that's because FaceTime's also, transmitting video.
Two-way video, yeah.
Yeah, it's download and upload.
But you got to think like in a game, it's almost the same because it's
Well,
video and
It's not transmitting the actual video.
Yeah, that's true.
Video
Yeah.
is being processed. It's just transmitting where are you and where are other things.
Yeah. So it's
And
nothing
that's-
crazy.
And then most of the actual processing happens on the system itself.
Yeah.
And then there's like different types of gaming where you can game on the cloud, and that's just all bandwidth. But yeah,
We've been going for quite
we've
a
been
while.
going for quite a while. We've been rolling. This is what
Yeah.
happens whenever we talk about Apple.
Dude, man.
You know, words just come out
Just
because we got
flows.
a lot to say about
Just
Apple.
flows, man.
It's crazy.
Anyway, it's been great to have y'all listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure you find us on Instagram. That's where we post what we're doing.
At the Minimum Wage Pod, be sure to like this podcast if you liked it. If you didn't like it, by all means, don't like it. We're not going to force you to do that.
Yeah, please dislike it and then tell us why in the comments.
If you're going to dislike, could you please do us the courtesy of telling us what we could do to improve or what you didn't like so that, we can just know what we're doing wrong, because I'd like to know what we're doing wrong.
And improve.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell.
Without further ado, this has been the Minimum Wage Podcast, where even the name is above our pay grade. Peace.